This is Inside Badger Football with head coach Trey Shucker. Financial support for Inside Badger Football is provided by Blake Bell of Edward Jones Investments, the accounting firm of Turner, Rogers, Manning, and Plyler, Welch Funeral Home, Austin Wingfield State Farm, Southern Bank Corp., Chad Kesterson Shelter Insurance, Southwest Sporting Goods, Taylor King and Associates, Mary and Martha's Florist and Gifts, Price and Company, Doctors Rob and Gary Rucker, Eccles, Thompson and Kneebone, Clark County Farm Bureau, Dairy Queen, Pediatrics Plus, South Central Connect, Java Primo, Southwest Auto Collection, Midian Digital Creations, Andy's Restaurant of Arkadelphia, and Israel Word Law Farmers Insurance. The host of Inside Badger Football is Chase Hartzell.
And welcome back to another edition of Inside Badger Football with Arkadelphia head coach Trey Shucker. I'm your host, Chase Hartzell, and as always, we're joined by head coach Trey Shucker. Coach Shucker, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you for having me.
So today we're reflecting on last week's win against Malvern in the Ouachita River Rumble. Huge win for the Badgers to close out the regular season.
It really was, and it was such a great environment being a rivalry, and there was a lot riding on this game being with, if we were to win, we would get the 2 seed, and then there were some situations where we could fall down to the 3, but our kids came out, they were fired up. It was senior night. The atmosphere was big, and then our kids were ready to play, and they went out there and did a great job, executed, flew around, and then finished on top. So it was really good for our program, really good for our kids. We got the 2 seed going into the playoffs.
Yeah, and before we get any further into that game, this game also marks the end of the regular season.
Yeah.
And even though it's your second season with Arkadelphia, this was pretty much your first regular season
Right.
with the shortened season last year due to COVID. So how was that, getting to have that sort of sense of normalcy in 2021?
Well, it was awesome, just being able to play in front of a full crowd and a full atmosphere. There wasn't as many restrictions involved and different things going on. COVID's still around, but there's less things happening. It's not new to anybody, so that we kind of have a better sense of how to handle things. So it was a great season so far. We're really excited getting into the playoffs.
And you talked about how much was at stake in that game with the playoff implications, with the rivalry win. Last year in the Ouachita River Rumble, it was your first Ouachita River Rumble,
Yeah.
and Malvern getting the win at home. Was that on your mind heading into this game, and was that a sort of motivation for your team heading into this matchup?
Well, what we talk about with our team is, it's the biggest game just because it's the next one. If we can continue to prepare and get ready in practice and then go out and execute every Friday night and just focus on the game itself and try not to build it up. There are big situations involved when it comes to games like this. We try not to go in too much depth about it. We just want the kids to focus on the game itself. And our kids do a great job of doing that. They focus and get ready and prepare for the game. They did a great job this week as well. But as coaches, we kind of think about it in light terms, just to stay ahead of the process. But biggest thing is just worry about each game individually.
And then, as you alluded to earlier, it was senior night against Malvern, and you told me in a post-game interview on Friday night that every senior got onto the field and every senior also recorded a stat. Was that a conscious effort by you and your coaching staff?
Yeah, that was one thing that we wanted to do, is we want to get all the seniors in and allow them the ability to play and have a good senior night, and I thought we were able to do that. I'm very proud of our kids. Our seniors have done a great job at working hard and being the best player that they can be, and just to be able to finish their regular season, senior season on the field and able to play, that's huge for those kids.
Well, a lot of good performances all across the board, and we're going to take a look at some of those performances right now. This was the Ouachita River Rumble against Malvern.
Starting off the game, we didn't start off the way we had hoped. just didn't field the opening kickoff and gave them the football. You know, that's not really the way you want to start the game, but our defense did a great job at coming out there, being ready to attack the game. You know, Malvern did a really good job at trying to control the clock this first drive and kind of be more methodical. And you see them right here, you know, making a big play on a running back pass. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, you don't really expect something like that. You know, we were in a good position to make a play, we just didn't make it.
And the Badgers did manage to block the PAT there, so Malvern up 6-0, and now the offense with their first drive of the game.
Yeah, so we finally get on the field, and you know, our first drive of the game, we felt like if we can just go out and execute early and start getting some momentum, put some first downs together, you know, a big run right here, just get a couple big plays early, get some first downs, we'd be able to score, and then, you know, hopefully we'd be able to maintain that momentum all the way through the game. You know, really great job by Donovan in escaping the pocket, being able to keep getting positive yards with his legs. He did a really good job of that Friday night. You see it again right here. You know, nothing came open, so Donovan tucks and runs, and just the ability by Donovan to get in the end zone right there is huge for us, just to keep the drives alive, and then in this situation, you know, able to put points on the board.
And so with that PAT from Spencer Allen, Arkadelphia up 7-6 now. We're still in the first quarter, but Malvern right here with a great return to once again set them up with a shortened field early in the game.
Yes, you know, this is one thing where one person gets out of their running lane and it's a big play. So this is one thing, you know, that we can improve on moving forward, but easy fix, you know. We knew that Malvern was going to be a run-heavy offense. You know, without their original starting quarterback able to play this season due to injury, we knew that they had changed their offense and went to a more run-heavy offense. You know, snap it to a good athlete and try to get downhill on a run and get behind some big offensive linemen. So we were really ready for that and prepared really well for it.
So Malvern up 13-7 now, but Arkadelphia already driving. And you talked about Donovan Witten extending drives, another key example right there on third down on the quarterback scramble.
Yeah, you know, that's one thing that he did really well of. And, you know, in situations where there are situations where he has to do that, and he's got the ability to be really good at it. You know, just a toe tap catch right there, you know, just didn't happen to be in bounds, but right here was a huge play for us. This was a fourth and long situation where Donovan dropped back. His reads, his routes weren't open, so he tucked it and got the first down himself. And then fourth down again, another big fourth down throw and catch right here. Donovan made the right read, got the ball out on time, put the ball in the perfect spot, and then Alex Lloyd made the big catch to get the touchdown.
And there is the PAT from Spencer Allen. So Arkadelphia up once again. It's 14-13. And here's the kick return from Malvern. And for the first time in this game, not facing a shortened field, starting in their own territory.
Right. You know, that was one thing that we had talked about from the last kickoff was, you know, talking about the running lanes and really good kickoff coverage right there by our group and able to pin them deep.
And we saw quite a few different formations from Malvern in this game. We've seen the Wildcat quite a bit already in this one, another case right here, but we also saw a lot of quarterback passes rolling out of the pocket. This was another great Wildcat run right here to get the Leopards back into enemy territory.
Yeah, you know, they snap it to a really good athlete and, you know, just get out leveraged one time and it's a big play for them. So that was one thing we had to be disciplined in, was maintaining leverage on the ball carrier. I was really impressed with our defensive front being able to handle just the grind and the pound of the game. You know, they've got a really good offensive line, and just that downhill run all night long can wear on you. But our defensive line and our linebackers handled it really well. I was really impressed with the way Jay Sean got downhill on his running game and just getting his shoulder pad level low and running through tackles and getting first downs and getting positive yards. Our offensive line did a great job at maintaining, there's just been so much improvement over the course of the season. Big punt right here by Donovan, and then really good punt coverage by our receivers to get down the field and then, get the ball. And you just see the downhill run by Malvern. I thought just like I said before, our defensive line, our linebackers played downhill and matched and exceeded it and did a really good job all night of it.
And it was great coverage all night long by Arkadelphia's secondary as well. We saw a great play there from Latonio Hughes. And even right here, getting into the backfield early, that's Landon Kewen. He did a great job both in the pass rush and pass coverage, as we saw right there, but really didn't give Malvern too many options downfield in the passing game.
Yeah, and that wasn't something that going into the game would be their strength. That's just not who they are right now at this point in the season, and we felt really good about it. Really big play right here. Braylon Bailey playing fast in his route and getting to his spot, and then we were able to find him and hook it up with him, and he was able to take it all the way in for a score. It was a quick drive. We knew just after that first couple drives that we're starting to get a feel of how they're going to play us and make sure that it's consistent with what we've prepared for. We really started being able to attack going forward.
And Arkadelphia up 21-13 at this point in the game, and Malvern was fighting downhill in the run game a lot in this contest, but you start to see the defense pick up on it and slow them down, and then the secondary again with excellent coverage. Again, it was Latonio Hughes right there making the play.
Yeah, Latonio has been lights out at corner. Just so athletic and able to cover really, really well. This was a big play by Tripp Campbell. We put Tripp back there to field punts, and he did a great job of that Friday.
And this drive really serving as evidence of how much success this balanced attack can have, going back and forth between the pass and the run to set up this huge play from Jayshawn Davis.
Yeah, this just shows the power that Jayshawn has and the strength. Being able to carry the whole pile all the way into the end zone. And, we see Arkadelphia players going and helping out and trying to push the pile also and not just finish the play. We talk about finishing the play, finishing the end zone, and Jayshawn, running hard on senior night. Big night for him, and that was a big play for us.
So Arkadelphia up 28-13 at this point, and Latonio Hughes with another near interception on that one, but a good deflection leading to this third down play.
Yes, those. If we knew that if we could get them to throw the ball, get them out of what they were really wanting to do, we thought we could have some success. This was a really good play by Donovan Witten, going through his entire progression and finding his last read and getting the ball out on time. Our offensive line did a great job at giving Donovan time, and then which set up this play. Just a really big play, just a big throw and catch. Ultimately, Alex Lloyd, big catch right here, fighting for the ball, being able to secure it and go finish in the end zone. That's not an easy play to make, and Alex Lloyd's had a phenomenal season. We talk about senior night and our seniors making plays, and that was one that Alex will be able to remember forever on senior night.
Already his second touchdown of the game. Arkadelphia up 35-13 at this point, and Loy far from done at this point, but now it's Arkadelphia's defense's turn to get back on the field, and they had another strong showing right here. Good, and you see the strength, though, in the running game from Malvern. They're not going to go down without a fight, but the more and more this game went along, it seemed that Arkadelphia was doing a great job of adjusting and making good open field tackles.
Really did, and that's one thing that we've continued to work on all season is those open field tackles. Teams that are able to tackle in the open field really, really well and be able to put pressure on quarterback, is very, very good on defense, and that's what we've been able to improve on throughout the season. And our defense playing really, really well. another good return right here by Trip Campbell. It doesn't look like much, but just giving our offense some distance and some yards to work with right here instead of allowing the ball to be down on the inside the 10-yard line, is huge. And then big run by Braylon Bailey. Braylon Bailey had a really good night as well. And you just see us being really efficient right now. Our offense is clicking. Our offensive line is able to maintain the line of scrimmage. In our run game, we're doing a great job in our pass pro. Our receivers are playing fast, getting open. It's just things are clicking right now. On that drive, we got stalled out from a penalty, but really, we felt like if we just kept executing, playing fast, and playing to our expectation, we could keep making plays. So our defense did a great job at getting them 3 and out really quick. Got the ball back. And this is right before half, I believe, and we're still trying to get the ball to the end zone. There's a couple minutes on the clock. We knew that we had to play fast to get it. Big run right here by Braylon Bailey getting the first down, and then Jay Sean moving forward. Just a really strong runner. He really is. He's impressive, and then just a big heads-up play right here. Could have been sacked, but Donovan Witten's able to get out of it and find Jay Sean and get it to him, and he gets it close. And then once we get that close, we get in our heavy package, and then, it's hard to stop our heavy package when we're that close to the end zone.
And at this point now, it's Arkadelphia 42 and Malvern 13, muffed kickoff right here. But we talk about seniors in this game, and how about on special teams? Spencer Allen at this point already 6 for 6 on his PATs for the night.
Yes, Spencer Allen has been great all season. I don't know if he's missed one. We've had a couple that's been blocked, but I don't know if he's actually missed a PAT this season. And Antonio Hughes, we're able to find him out in the flats really quick, and really big play by him. Catching the ball, and he's able to take a short yard situation and turn it into a big play. Here he is again, good blocking on the outside by Loy, and then, Donovan showing his legs again, able to escape a tackler, escape a sack, and then go make a play. And then a big finish right here in the end zone. Alex Loy with the big post pattern and good throw and catch. It's just so proud of our guys for how they executed Friday night.
This right here, an interception from Nick Williams, a rising star on that Badgers secondary. That's his second interception in 2 weeks, following up with that one against Bauxite the week previous.
No doubt. Nick Williams has had a great year. He's a sophomore for us. He's gotten a lot of playing time and good quality playing time, and he's progressed over the course of the season and playing really well right now.
And we talked about senior leadership. That seemed to be a really key theme in this game. Also, kudos to Donovan Witten as well, who had another excellent performance as well with 4 touchdown passes, and also eclipsing that 250-yard mark, something he's done several times throughout the year. But on top of that, you also have Braylon Bailey and Jay-Sean Davis, both of whom had well over 100 total yards each, and then add in Alex Loy with his hat trick of 3 touchdowns. It just was a great all-around night, it seemed, for the Badgers on offense.
It really was, and you see a lot of seniors making plays, and we asked Braylon to do a lot of things. He's a starting receiver, but we also hand it to him, and he had over 100 yards total. He just is so dynamic in his play. Jay Sean's a really big power back. I think the state knows that. He's a big, strong, physical back, and then Alex Loy is able to make plays, going up and catching the ball. Just the way he tracks the football is incredible. And then on defense, we had a lot of big seniors step up there too. Our linebacking crew is very senior heavy, and our leaders on defense are seniors. And they played really, really well. They stepped up to the task and was able to have a really good night. And Malvern's, they've put up some points. They're playing their best football right now, and they had to change their offense early in the season, but they're doing it really, really well. They really are. And our seniors came out fired up and got our team ready, and it was a really good showing.
and a lot of standout performances that we've talked about, and we're going to focus on just a few of those right here. These are the Badger Players of the Week.
Our Offensive Player of the Week is Brady Curtis. Brady Curtis plays tackle for us. He was one of the biggest guys up front for us Friday. Graded out the highest after the game. Also just finished blocks all night long, was really good in our run game and our pass pro. Defensive Player of the Week was Landon Kewen. Landon Kewen led our team in tackles. I think he had 14 tackles. He starts at middle linebacker for us, was flying around making plays, gets our defense lined up, and really stepped up to the task this week. Special Teams Player of the Week was Trip Campbell. Trip Campbell did a great job fielding punt returns this week, allowing our offense to get in good field position and not allow the punts to be down in the 10-yard line. We did a really good job at helping us out on our offense from the punt return position. And then our Badger Spirit Award winner is Adrian Smith. Adrian Smith is a sophomore for us, does a great job, helps out on scout team, does a really good job, is one of the most fired up players on Friday night, is always encouraging, helping our team and our guys get encouraged, and just really shows Badger spirit all the time.
Yeah, and it seems like there's a lot of fire in these young Badgers that are coming up on the team, and we've gotten to see some of them in the last several weeks. We talked about Nick Williams, but also D'Angelo Buckley, Cade McBride, all of these guys really stepping up, and the future looks bright for this program.
They really are. Those younger guys, those sophomores, do a great job at giving us really good looks on our scout teams, and they work really, really hard. And that's one thing that we talk to our guys, our younger guys about is, when we're in meetings, when we're out at practice, we're going to coach them the same way. Even if we're not talking about them specifically, if we're talking to a specific position group, they need to take it in like we are talking to them. So the coaching points are always the same. They've done a really good job at progressing over the course of the season. We were able to play some JV games this year, and our JV groups did a really good job. And we've had some really good sophomores step up, and the future is bright for the Badgers.
Well, we move from the more distant future now to the more proximate future, I guess I should say. We talk about the playoffs coming up, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. But at this point in the season, the Badgers have won 5 games in a row to close out the regular season. How important is it to get that momentum heading into these
It's
matches?
huge. It is. It's important to get that momentum, to get that win streak going, to give your team the confidence and the momentum going into the playoffs, and getting that good seeding. With those wins, you get a higher seed, and it allows you to be able to play. We get a home playoff game this week, and that's huge for us also in terms of momentum and just the confidence. There's nothing like playing at home.
And we're going to take a look at the conference standings here in just a moment. But before we do that, we're going to look at the scoreboard from the rest of the final week of the regular season. These were the rest of the scores from around the 7-4A that provided us the standings that we'll see in a few moments. We start out with the game we just broke down, Arkadelphia, with a huge win on senior night, 49-13. We moved down to Nashville against Bauxite. Bauxite was looking to win their first conference game of the season, but Nashville, who's had some ups and downs this year, with a dominant performance in their final game of the regular season, 55-19, Scrappers the final score.
Yes, Nashville is one of those teams that has had an up and down season, but I will say this, they've really progressed over the course of the season. Given the circumstances, they've gotten better and played their best football at the end of the season.
And moving down, we have Ashdown, another team who has had an impressive 2021 campaign. Badgers won a key matchup against them a few weeks ago to help them kind of lock up the 2nd seed, but Ashdown's right there with the 3rd seed, building on that with another dominant performance here, 49-18 the score against the Fountain Lake Cobras.
Yeah, Ashdown's one of those teams that could be a dark horse in the playoffs. They're a really, really good football team. They've been putting up points all season, and that's just one of those teams that you can't overlook. You've got to prepare for. You've got to be ready to play.
And not only the offensive prowess, but you've also got the defense, a defense that has looked to be one of the most impressive in the conference thus far, and perhaps even the classification.
They really have. Their defense has really held teams to low numbers, and they're a solid defense. They're physical, they're strong, they're fast. They really get to the ball and tackle well.
And then you see the final score from Robinson. The Senators closing out the regular season undefeated in conference play. They had 1 loss overall in the year to who is considered to be the 5A favorite probably at this point in Pulaski Academy. This time defeating the Harmony Grove Cardinals by a final score of 56-19.
Yes, Robinson was able to go undefeated in conference, and we talk about playoffs. Getting that momentum for them is probably huge, and carrying that into the playoffs. They were so dominant all year in our conference play, and they're one of the top teams in the state for sure in 4A.
And with that, we're going to take a look at the final standings of the regular season for the 7-4A. There you see Robinson atop the standings with a 7-0 undefeated record. Arkadelphia right down there below them. They're going to finish 6-1 in conference in the regular season, locking up the 2 seed for a matchup against Clinton, which we'll break down here in just a few moments. But right below them, Ashdown, who's had a solid campaign. They lock up the 3 seed with a 5-2 record. Malvern right there in the mix with 4-3 finish on the year, 4th seed in the playoffs. And then you have Fountain Lake with the number 5 seed out of the 7-4A. Then Nashville, who's had some ups and downs. They picked up a couple of key victories in conference play this year. They're going to be in 6th. Then Harmony Grove, a team that was on the rise this year, looked a lot more competitive this year, did pick up a key win against Bauxite a few weeks ago. They're going to finish in 7th, and then at the bottom of the standings, you have Bauxite.
Yeah, overall, over the course of the conference season, looking at it, it's been very, very competitive. Regardless of the record of the opponent, it's been hard-fought games. And every night you look at our conference and you see the scores, and you see teams that have scored a lot of points being held to low numbers by a team in our conference. And it's just very hard-fought. You got to prepare really well every single week for every single opponent, and anything can happen on any Friday night. Our conference is so tough, and that's why it's we love playing in this conference. It's just so competitive.
Would you say that toughness of competition in the conference helps you to prepare for the postseason matchups like we're going to see this week against Clinton?
No doubt it does. Just the battle test alone. Our kids have been through a lot of big games and a lot of big competition, and that alone is going to prepare you for playoff situations just because it's so similar. Just every Friday night in our conference is almost like a playoff game. It's kind of got that big environment, good competition, and every play means something, and that's just how it is in the playoffs. So it's pretty much it battle tests your team for the playoff situations.
Well, I think we've been teasing it for long enough. It's probably time to get into the breakdown of the game against Clinton this next week. With the Yellow Jackets, they're 5-5 on the year, won 3 of their last 5 in the regular season. They did lose their last matchup against Lone Oak, but that was a very close game, losing that one by only 4 points.
Yes, and that's, this matchup with Clinton, they're a really good football team. They're very big, they're physical, they're probably going to be just as big as anybody that we've seen this season. And, they just play really good football with how they run their offense, what they do on defense. They're effective. And, you look at their scores also, they've got some really tough and close games in there, and we expect a really big, hard-fought Friday night football game.
Well, and with all those factors that you mentioned in mind, what can fans expect from this matchup on Friday night?
Yeah, it'll be a hard-fought football game. They're going to be big, they're going to be physical. We hope that we can be the same way. We want to be physical and play fast, and it should be a really, really good football game, a really good Week 1 matchup.
It should be indeed, and I'm sure fan support is going to be key in that one. So go out and support the Badgers at Badger Stadium this Friday night when they host the Clinton Yellow Jackets in the first round of the 4A state playoffs. And Coach, I think that's going to wrap it up for this week. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you for having me. Go Badgers.
Go Badgers.
Financial support for Inside Badger Football is provided by Blake Bell of Edward Jones Investments, the accounting firm of Turner, Rogers, Manning, and Plyler, Welch Funeral Home, Austin Wingfield State Farm, Southern Bancorp, Chad Kesterson Shelter Insurance, Southwest Sporting Goods, Taylor King and Associates, Mary and Martha's Florist and Gifts, Price and Company, Doctors Rob and Gary Rucker, Eccles, Thompson, and Kneebone, Clark County Farm Bureau, Dairy Queen, Pediatrics Plus, South Central Connect, Java Primo, Southwest Auto Collection, Midian Digital Creations, Andy's Restaurant of Arkadelphia, and Israel Word Law Farmers Insurance. Inside Badger Football is produced weekly by Ouachita Baptist University's Rogers Department of Communications and the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.